Right now at 6, a Confederate controversy in Charlottesville, Virginia turns to violence.
This event has been declared an unlawful assembly.
So when I watch Charlottesville, to me it's very, very sad.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Laura Queso in for Brady Cummings. A rally by an alt-right group ended in clashes in the streets of Charlottesville, and one person is dead. We've got team coverage tonight. Our Jason Marks is live for us in Charlottesville, covering the events on the ground. Our Aaron Kelly in the WAVY newsroom with reaction from local leaders. Let's start with Jason. Jason, what are you seeing? What are you hearing, being that you're out there in Charlottesville tonight?
Well, Laura, things are eerily quiet right now. I just talked with a resident who said this time here on Market Street, you'd have a lot of people coming out of their homes, going to dinner and enjoying the night. A lot of live music in this city, but tonight it's very quiet. Let me step out of the way and give you an idea of where we are. We're at the corner of 2nd and Market Street. State police tell me that this is ground zero for today's events. Now, if you look over there, and Curtis is going to pan over, that's Emancipation Park, and you can see right in the park you have the Robert E. Lee Confederate statue, and that, as you remember, the statue is what is causing all this controversy. That's where this this swell is coming from. The city officials here in Charlottesville decided they wanted to take that statue down, and obviously it's a hot button topic, and there are people on either side, and the people who want to see it stay, those were the people who came out here and protested this weekend. They were here this morning. It was a very long day. They were here, the protesters from the right wing, and then you had counter protesters, and they started to clash, and you had fights that were breaking out, and you had gas that was thrown at officers. It really does very eerily quiet down here because you have an officer, or several officers on every corner. Many of the streets here in downtown Charlottesville are closed down, and you can see that there's not a lot of traffic coming through here, and you can see there's not a lot of pedestrian traffic coming through here. A lot of debris left behind. You can see all the trash that's left behind in the park. This was a major event for state police, and they got as many officers, also with National Guard, as men. They came down here and they tried to get a hold of the situation as quickly as possible. Now, this is the same spot, and you're going to hear about this a little bit more in this newscast. This is the same spot where someone drove into a group of counter protesters. We're told one counter protester was killed, 19 others were injured. In all, we've had 33 injuries plus that one person who was killed. So a very busy day for state police. As we mentioned, things are quiet right now. We're going to continue to stay here and follow any developments. I can tell you that the governor here is in Charlottesville, Governor Terry McAuliffe. He is expecting to do a news conference any minute here at UVA, and we will have that for you live. If not, we'll give you the information coming up on WAVY News 10 at 11, and of course Fox 43 News at 10. But for now, that's the latest here in Charlottesville. Jason Marks, 10 on your side.
All right, Jason, thank you very much. So how did this all start? Unrest in Charlottesville has been brewing for months now, all over the removal of a statue. It shows Confederate leader Robert E. Lee. City Council voted to remove it and rename Lee Park Emancipation Park. There was a Ku Klux Klan rally last month over the changes. Those in support of keeping the statue say city leaders are removing history. Today's clash involved the nationalist group. Their rally started around 9 this morning, but just before noon, it was deemed an unlawful assembly after violence broke out. The governor declared a state of emergency, and state police say they made several arrests. Violence continued after the rally was declared unlawful. The video we're about to show you of the crash, it may be disturbing for some of you to watch. It's the moment a car hit a crowd of people on Charlottesville's downtown mall, killing one person. Again, here's a look at the car after it hit the crowd. It took off from the scene, but police caught up with the driver and took that person into custody. Charlottesville leaders say one person died in the crash. 19 others were hurt. Emergency crews are also on the scene of a helicopter crash in Albemarle County, not far from all that chaos in Charlottesville. We have learned that 2 people are dead. It's not clear if this has any connection to the events going on there. The investigation, we're told, is ongoing tonight. State and local leaders have been quick to condemn the violence in Charlottesville, some saying hate has no place in Virginia. 10 on your side's Aaron Kelly has been going through their statements. Aaron, what have you learned?
Well, Laura, Governor Terry McAuliffe says the acts and rhetoric of the past 24 hours are unacceptable and that a right to free speech is not a right to violence. Senators Mark Warner and Tim Kaine tweeted that hate has no place in Virginia. Congressman Scott Taylor said, quote, the actions, ideology, and hate last night by some idiots should be condemned loudly and clearly. Congressman Bobby Scott said the actions don't, quote, reflect the morality and values of our great nation. And earlier this evening, President Donald Trump said he condemned the, quote, egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence on many sides.
I just got off the phone with the governor of Virginia, Terry McAuliffe, and we agreed that the hate and the division must stop, and must stop right now. We have to come together as Americans with love for our nation and true affection, really, and I say this so strongly, true affection for each other.
And we have been compiling statements from Virginia leaders all day. Look for them on our website. Erin Kelly, 10 on your side.
Erin, thank you. The violence began last night at a torchlight rally at the University of Virginia. Several hundred people showed up in support for the Confederate statue city leaders decided to remove. Participants held tiki torches and marched through the university to the Thomas Jefferson statue. And that's where they met counter-protesters and fights broke out. People threw punches, even hitting each other with the fiery end of those torches. Police broke up the violent crowd. Our coverage of this story continues online. To see more photos from the aftermath of the car crash, along with lawmakers' reaction to the violence in Charlottesville, just head on over to WAVY.com.